Hey guys, short video today. I want to go over how I fill knots and holes with epoxy in this tabletop. So here we go. First thing I do is mix up some of this Total Boat 5-to-1 epoxy. 1 pump of each. I got a lot to do. I'm going to go ahead and do 2. Ugh. All right, set that aside. Couple drops of black. You can get this on Amazon for about $8. All right, now we mix. Alexa, set a timer for 2 minutes.
2 minutes, starting now.
Just kind of work it in. There's a lot of air in these. A lot of room to fill in. On this one, the client wanted kind of a more natural, rustic look on the top. A couple knots. This was actually a white oak tree that came down in her front yard. She had it milled up and gave me a call a couple of years ago saying she had a bunch of oak. I expected it to be red oak because that's real common around here. But to my surprise, she had a stack of about 3,000 board feet of white oak. Let these sink in a little bit. You just want to kind of touch off on this. You do not want to hold the heat directly on it for too long because it'll start to smoke. And you don't want that. So a lot of times I'll just go around and around until I get it pretty full. Let it sink in a little bit. Go back, torch it. Probably made too much epoxy. Don't have near as many voids to fill as I thought. Here's one. This is just a little crack, and sometimes, you know, on dining tables, it's not going to matter too much. I just want to keep food from getting in these little cracks, little checks. They'll start to get dirty. There's a couple little. See, this tree had a lot of ring shake, which is where the wood splits kind of along the rings instead of a normal check, which is along the radius of the tree. So I think ring check is a lot harder to deal with. Ring shake. It's hard for the air to get out once you pour epoxy on them. So you just kind of have to watch it and wait for the bubble to come up. Pour some more in, wait for the bubble to come up. And then you think you've got it, and you'll come back tomorrow and it's sunken way down. You have to do this all over again. You can see that hole starting to fill up a little bit. The torch does kind of melt the epoxy a little bit, let it seep into those holes a little bit easier. I'm not really sure what the mechanism is for that, but if you just kind of hit it, it'll flow a little bit better. It's pretty rare that it takes just one epoxy pour to fill all the knots. Usually you come out here in the morning and everything's kind of sunken down and it's below the surface and you thought you filled the whole thing, but you got to do it all over again. But Masking tape holds pretty well. This one though, I can push up from the bottom and make a bubble in the epoxy. This is the fast hardener also. I tried the slow hardener. There's really not a huge difference in hardening speed, but I prefer the fast hardener. It is a little bit quicker. All right, it's day 2. It's been 24 hours. Time to sand. I'm going to use the Rotex with 80 grit on Rotex mode. Here we go. I had some voids that either had some bubbles or they didn't quite fill the whole void. So I'm going to use some Starbond adhesive, Starbond black, to fill the remainder of that void instead of mixing up a whole new batch of epoxy. Let it settle in. And that's it. It's pretty easy to take a few bug holes and a few knots and make them look really nice with a little bit of epoxy, a little bit of super glue, and a little bit of sanding. Very happy with the way these turned out. I still have a lot of sanding to do on this tabletop to get it all even and flat, but I'm pretty happy with how it's coming along. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure to like the video and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.